Arab and Muslim nations, as well as Christian communities in the Middle East and beyond, have been outraged by America's decision to recognize Jerusalem Al-Quds as Israel's capital. That's because the ancient city is considered holy to Muslims, Christians, and Jews who have lived there for centuries. In the United States has apparently taken note of the mounting outrage among religious communities. U.S. Vice President Mike Pence's plans to visit the region seems to be in disarray. Pence was expected to travel to Egypt and then to Israel and the occupied Palestinian territories. The White House says the trip has just been delayed until Republicans push through the largest tax overhaul in decades. But many observers believe the trip has probably been canceled over Trump's Jerusalem move.
I think they anticipated protests, given that Trump is so close to the Israelis in his thinking and his actions. The Israelis, if nothing else, would have said, expect people taking issue with your decisions. But I think that in the situation, they did not believe the protests would go on as long as they have or be as widespread as they have been.
Immediately after Trump's controversial decision on the status of Jerusalem Al-Quds, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas said Pence is not welcome in the region. Abbas announced that he would not sit down for talks with the U.S. Vice President. He also said the United States can no longer be trusted as a mediator in any future Palestinian-Israeli talks. Christian Palestinians have called on Pence to avoid visiting the occupied territories. Meanwhile, the head of Egypt's Coptic Church, Pope Tawadros II, also canceled a meeting with Pence. Experts say the cancellations were meant to send a strong message to the United States.
I think that it's spreading amongst the higher level officials and may well continue to broaden and reach more and more people with significant contacts and significant controls over opinion making. Certainly, if it gets to the press in the Middle East, which unfortunately in too many instances is controlled, I think that it will ignite possibly a firestorm of protests and blacken the name of the United States and Michael Pence and Donald Trump and their advisors throughout the region.
Over the past decades, the U.S. has brokered and participated in many rounds of talks between the Palestinians and the Israelis. Washington has long portrayed itself as an advocate of peace between the two sides. But critics say actions speak louder than words. Washington's recognition of Jerusalem Al-Quds has both violated international law and plunged the Palestinian territories into chaos. Palestinians say they can no longer trust the United States as a mediator.
The United States has never been an honest broker or an honest mediator in the region. American interests seem to have always entwined themselves with Israeli interests, and every time there's been a conference, the Camp David Accords run by Bill Clinton when he was president, and other meetings between the Palestinians and the Israelis, it's never been anything in favor of the Palestinian people and in creating a Palestinian state. It's always been, what does Israel need? What kind of security must Israel have? And so forth.
The United States has been siding with its ally Israel, but has now taken that favoritism to a whole new level. Meanwhile, Israel has taken advantage of decades of prolonged U.S.-backed talks with the Palestinians and expanded its settlements on occupied Palestinian territories. Critics of Washington's policies say America's decades-long diplomatic cover for Israel has left no room for any more U.S. mediation. The growing isolation of the United States at the UN has further dented its credibility as a mediator.